How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. I just got done with the fifth and final day of doing this steel mill shutdown. I mean, I never know how to break down the U.S. states. It always confuses me what part is South versus Mid-Southwest versus Great Plains versus yada 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 yada. I'm basically about 25 hours, or no, about I'd say about 18 hours drive from my house up in Appalachia. So you can do the math there, I guess. And it's days like this where I'm sitting in my hotel room, covered in shit, absolutely exhausted. I mean, I'm so tired that you could slap me, I wouldn't notice it. Back's killing me, hips killing me. Every piece of shrapnel still stuck in my ass. I'm feeling it, and I kind of almost said think. So in my weaker moments, maybe Patton, this Jackie character, had the right ideas. Screw working for a living. Just do fuck all day. Sorry, I'm drinking a Coke. I'm literally trying to wake up enough to have the energy to take a shower. And as long as nobody calls me up flipping out tonight, I'll be able to load up my car, or my rental car, I should say, and then just start driving east again. Got a Subaru this time. Very pleasantly nice car. I could actually get that front seat nice and far back, so I didn't feel like I was driving in a go kart. It had more leg room than my freaking pickup truck. Pretty nice. But it was a rather interesting shutdown. I mean, not like work wise wasn't too interesting. It was kind of a standard kind of flop a switch shutdown. Put in the new equipment as quickly as possible. Commission the new equipment. Try to beat them from starting up their furnace. You want to get that stuff all ready to go before the furnace is up and running. Because once the furnace is up and running, my God, you better be, you better be ready to go. Furnaces ain't cheap, and this particular case they were doing, or it's a what do you call them? Arc furnace, electric arc furnace. If you Google it, electric arc furnace, you can watch video of them running one. It sounds like they're opening up a pit to hell. Like the transformers are like rah, 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 rah. Like at least it's like I. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned this in any of my videos, but some of my hearing has been restored. I still have to wear hearing aids and stuff, but I'd say I have about 30% hearing, which is, I mean, if I don't have my hearing aids in, you got to scream at me like I'm an idiot. But it's still cool to be able to talk to my wife and my kid over the phone and shit, and in person as well. I still think my wife has the most amazing, beautiful accent, cute little Polish accent. But them arc furnaces are pretty wild. Um, it sounds like hell's being unleashed, and the main transformers that feed them sound like they're eating themselves to death. They don't sound like any normal transformer. I recommend googling it if you're bored. This arc furnace, and you'll find videos of them. They're pretty intense, but I was there. It was kind of funny. There was this young local boy. I should say boy. I just say boy because he's younger than me. Not in any way to be disrespectful to him because he's a man. You know, I think he's actually married too. He seemed like a really young, nice kid though. Um, it took him 3 days to ask me about my face. He didn't want to be rude, and I was like, I was in the military. Oh, you were? I was like, yeah. He's like, what branch? And I told him. Oh, well, he got this guy Billy Bob. He was in. You got Billy Bob would love to meet you. He's got all these stories from Afghanistan and Iraq. I'm like, no, from both. He goes, yeah, from both. Oh, wow. And so eventually he gets Billy Bob over there like an hour or two. And Billy Bob, pretty much as soon as he sees me, like clams up. It's yes, no kind of thing. I think he asked me, like, what branch I was in, what command I was at, and stuff. Actually, no, he asked me what my unit was, and I told him my command. And then he asked me what my rank was, and I told him my pay grade. And I could tell that I was losing him. He was definitely one of those guys that did his time in Iraq and Afghanistan via YouTube and Hollywood. Of course, I don't want to call somebody out like that because you never know how people respond to that shit, you know? Some of the people, when they make up these fantasies, they get really super defensive about it. And I wasn't there to embarrass the guy because at the end of the day, he's the customer kind of thing. But after that guy left, you know, the young kid was just like, wow, I thought Billy would really want to talk to you. I'm like, well, you know, deployments affect people in different ways, you know what I mean? Different things and different experiences. Oh, yeah, he must have had some crazy experiences. Well, he describes, yeah, some crazy experiences. I'm like, I'm sure he did. Oh, boy. I think as soon as he saw how fucked up my face and my hand and my arm was, he kind of knew, like, oh, shit, I'm actually talking to somebody that just might be able to tell that, like, I don't know. I think he definitely did some time, but I'm suspecting that it was in like the State National Guard or something. I don't believe for a second he was deployed. It's kind of like how the way Jackie makes it sound like she was some special ops spy analysis person while she was enlisted, but she never drops her MOS. Where if she was, she wouldn't stop dropping that stupid MOS. I think she was just a tank mechanic. And then she started being a contractor for a company providing, you know, like mechanic services, like basically civilians doing like MRAP service work and stuff. And then she started fucking her boss, so she didn't have to go into the motor pool no more, and she just answered the phones. For the life of me, I don't understand how she's able to convince people that she's some kind of savvy tech, network security, anything kind of person. I think it's all bullshit. I see that she's doing something in some trade show or something. I think that's what it is. They have these conventions and shit all the time. I've had to do it for like IEEE, which is like a major electrical engineering association. IEEE writes like the safety documentation that are the basis on all the regulations throughout the world when it comes to like electrical safety and stuff. And I've been to an IEEE conference where it's like, this is just a bullshit trade show. Are you kidding me? Because it's like, it's all these companies that are paying to have booths, and then they'll invite people to talk. But most of the people that are there to talk, sorry, I'm taking off my boots if I sound weird. Um, Most of the people that they invite to talk, they're basically agreeing to pay their own way to get there. And then they're going to be allowed to talk about whatever the crap they want to, just because they have podium time that has to be filled. I mean, I'm not sure about like this organization that Jackie plans on representing or whatever, but I got a feeling that it's all bullshit anyway. Ah, damn, my ankle is killing me. So it was also pretty funny that wait, hold on one. But it turned out on this site there was a couple of guys from a Mexican company that I've done work with in like cement plants and steel mills, and one of the guys actually saw me going into the drive room, and he ended up following me into the drive room, and the young kid I was with was a little confused why this guy came in the drive room, and the guy got my attention, you know, tapping me softly on the shoulder or reaching up and tapping me on the shoulder. Because I don't think like at the he didn't realize I got some of my hearing back. And I was like, oh, hola, ¿cómo está? Like, you know, being back up again, like good old buddies and stuff. Because I'd done a lot of jobs with them. But the young kid was like totally perplexed to hear me speaking Spanish. And then at one point, after the guy left, I said to the kid, I was like, yeah, I know that guy. We've done a lot of jobs together. Apparently he's working on your table drives. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, what was he calling you? I was like, oh, El Logros, or Logro. And he's like, yeah, what does that mean? I was like, it means the ogre. I was like, that was a nickname I picked up in Mexico doing work. So, but the kid was just like, I'm surprised you'd be okay with him calling you that. I was like, well, it's a little different. We're both kind of contractors and stuff, and we've worked on stuff together. We've helped each other out. I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, he's my brother, and I'll be frank with you. If you got a problem with him working at your damn mill, you might as well tell me that now. I'll walk out of here right frickin' now. He goes, oh, no, 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 sir, no, sir, no, sir, He's like, I just know some of the, he goes, not me, but a lot of the guys here, they got a problem with the, you know, immigrants and all. He's like, but I'll be real with you. He's like, we can't seem to find an American to do our work. So we end up having to contract out more and more stuff for these young guys out of Mexico. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, it's the same thing I'm running into. I was like, my company. I was like, if you go back to our home office, all the young people in my company is basically young kids that are first generation immigrants from India, where like their parents slaved away to put them through high end engineering schools. And I was like, these kids are first generation immigrants, so they still got that same hunger as their parents. Like they are terrified of disappointing their parents. I was like, so they'll grind out. They'll take any assignment. They'll do any assignment just to make the parents proud. I was like, you give me a couple of kids from the States that their whole family's been living here for years. I was like, I can't get them to come to one of these jobs just because we have to use a porta john, and I can't get young college graduate kids to be willing to take a shit in a porta john. And the young kid was like, yeah, he's like, we're running the same thing here, man. He's like, we could offer local kids ridiculous amount of money, sight unseen, no training, high school diploma. He goes, we can't hire for shit. I was like, yep, nobody wants to work the hard jobs no more. I guess everybody wants to be Jackie and Patrick, where they just sit around all day doing fuck all. I don't know how Jackie and Patrick just don't get bored. You know what I mean? Like, sorry to go off on a tangent. Well, all of this is a goddamn tangent, isn't it? But like, I don't know how Patrick doesn't get bored. I don't know how Patrick doesn't have shame when he's got to live off of his wife. I got to imagine, right? I don't think he's writing books, is he? I don't believe he's writing books at all. Like he spends so damn much time on Twitter, it's unreal. I don't mean to gross anybody out, but if I'm doing a bunch of tweets all in a row, it's usually because I'm stuck on the shitter because I ate something that I didn't agree with. That is one downside of field work. It is very hard to have a healthy diet and exercise healthy or exercise regularly because ever since COVID, hotels have just fucking sucked. I've been here 5 goddamn days. They have not once come into my hotel room to even just take out my fucking trash, let alone make the bed and shit. Um, they just don't do it no more. The if they got a gym, they a lot of places are just keeping them locked up. Pools, that doesn't matter. They'll say it on the hotel. Yeah, we got a pool. No, they don't. Well, they do, but it's not going to be open because fuck you. That's why. They're like indoor pool. Nope, it's boarded up. Why? COVID. COVID, really. 4 years into it, we still fuck off. It's like I fucking picked this place because I needed a place to try to do laps or whatever to try to get my back to like stretch out a little bit, or I want to go to a place. I'm not even looking to be able to lift. I'm looking for a place that I could just get on an exercise bike and then a treadmill or whatever, get my heart rate up, and try to dissipate some of this, just frustration and shit. Because what else am I going to do? I don't drink, so and one of my big things, always, 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 I'm a huge believer. Don't ever take your work home. Don't take your home shit to work. And like one of the things that I always, always, always try to do is I never talk to my wife and son right after I get out of a mill or a port or a chemical plant or a solar site or whatever. I want to try to get that energy out of me simply because I don't ever want to raise my voice or sound stressed out or sound pissed off because they don't need to hear that. They don't need to hear that. So, But I am looking forward to getting home, man. Hopefully nobody calls me tonight. If nobody calls me, I'm getting in my car, driving home, and I can't. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what it is. This is only like a 5 day assignment, but I bet it's probably because it's getting close to the holidays. That's probably really what it is. It's getting close to the holidays, and I'm just ready to kind of spin it down a little bit and spend more time with the wifey and the son, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I don't know. Really know if Patrick and Jackie have been doing anything goofy. I haven't even looked at her. Whatever this is, Robert Card. I don't know who Robert Card is. I don't care. Mike Johnson, speaker designate. I really don't care. I'm always amazed at these people that seem to think that like whoever president is and like whichever political party has authority or like controls whatever house, like somehow it it affects their day-to-day life. And it's like, shut up. Shut up. You're not that important. I'm not that important. And like people that act like there's a difference between like Democrats and Republicans, the only thing I have to point to is look at what's going down in Israel. We just got done wasting 20 years in Afghanistan, and both political parties are like literally jumping over each other to say that we're going to spend even more ungodly amounts of money into a failed political state known as Israel. And it's stupid because no matter how much money we give them, it's not going to fix their demographic crisis. If you've ever wondered why Israel has walled in Gaza, but they have all these security checkpoints throughout all along the wall. It's because every single day they got to let in a massive number of Palestinians into Israel proper to do work. And the reason is the fastest growing demographic in Israel, the ultra hardcore Orthodox, are the fastest growing population, and that population does not work, does not pay taxes, demands massive subsidies. And all of this has to be paid. So they need people. They especially need people on Saturday because somebody's got to turn the lights on and off. And those folks are outbreeding everybody else 10-1 in Israel. It's unsustainable. This is why the Israelis have never just flattened Gaza and taken it over, the West Bank or the Golan Heights. It's because they need to have access to cheap Palestinian labor. That's something that nobody in the media is telling you. And I've done work in Qatar, Oman, KSA, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Israel. And in the Arab countries, they have the perspective that the American is the dog. The American is there to do the heavy lifting, to do the dirty work, to do the jobs that no Arab should ever look to base themselves to do. And if there's a choice between 1,000 Americans dying or one drop of Arab blood landing in the sand, you always kill the Americans. Let the Americans die. I shouldn't say kill, but let them die. You never risk that precious Arab blood. It's the same thing for the Israelis, man. And I love it too. You'll have people that say, well, Israel's the only place that LGBTQ folks can walk around out and open in public. That's a load of bullshit. Anybody tells you that has clearly never lived and worked in Israel. Anybody that says that they are lying to you. Absolutely lying to you. Are there gay clubs? One or two gay clubs in like Tel Aviv? Yes. Could a gay couple walk down the street of a conservative neighborhood in Israel and not get lynched? No. They absolutely will get lynched. This is a country that has to have separate bus services for men and women because if they have women and men on the same bus, the hardline Orthodox Jews will start firebombing public buses. This has happened in the past. It'll happen in the future. Israel is the only country where I was dumb enough to think it was safe for me to go jogging. I went down the wrong street not realizing it, and I had grown men picking up rocks and throwing them at me and screaming obscenities at me in Hebrew because I made the mistake of jogging down a neighborhood that was consisted of a hardcore Orthodox Jewish community, and I was wearing jogging shorts. I was showing too damn much leg. I'm not saying that we should favor the Palestinians over the Israelis. I'm not saying we should favor the Israelis over the Palestinians. I'm saying we should get the fuck out of the Middle East. For anyone out there that's saying, well, this is why we need to be energy independent, we are already energy independent. We have been for years. The U.S. exports energy, oil and gas specifically. We export it. We're one of the larger exporters in the world. There is absolutely zero reason for us to be in the Middle East. We should not be in Syria, Qatar, Oman, anywhere. Israel. Fuck it. Let them all just fight amongst themselves. There's no point in trying to solve this. We will never be able to solve this. It's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. And I've had people tell me, my God, you're an isolationist. And I'm always surprised, like, am I supposed to be insulted by that? Like, am I? Well, what if Russia and China steps into the vacuum? Good, let them. How's Russia going to do that? They can't even finish off Ukraine. Like, literally, they can't even invade a country right on their border that is, like, tiny compared to them. And then China, I don't know if you haven't noticed this, but their Silk Road initiative, that has been one massive, massive fucking fiasco for them financially. Who would have thought funding medical projects in Africa with corrupt governments that have no hope of ever actually paying it back would be a bad idea? Who would have thought that? What a shock. What a shock. But again, 20 years in Afghanistan. What's our first thought? Oh my God, we got to start pouring more billions into Israel. This is a country that has the population the size of Virginia. The size of Virginia. And even before we started dumping even more money because of the kickoff of all this, we were averaging $3.5 billion officially. $3.5 billion a year to Israel. And for what? For what? Israel has the highest number, the largest number of times a country has been caught by the United States inserting spies into the United States government. It's not the USSR. It's not Russia. Not USSR and Russia combined. It's Israel. By a country mile. Israel is the only country that I am forced to do business with. Believe it or not, it is official U.S. law. It does not matter how much a supplier or an end user out of Israel rips me off. They could steal my IP. They could steal my work. They could contract me to do work and then refuse to pay me. If they come back later and say, we have another job for you, I cannot say no. I can't say no. Because all they have to do is call up the U.S. State Department or the Department of Commerce and say, we believe this entity representing this company is participating in an embargo against Israeli interests. It's in our laws. It's in our laws. And that's all they have to say. We will get shut down by the Department of Commerce and the Department of State overnight. They know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. There's a paper company in Israel. I spent a year there. They still owe me like 6 months worth of wages. And if they ever call back saying that they want phase 4 of their project done, we have to do it. We have to fucking do it. Because again, all they have to do is call up the State Department going, yep, this company, parent company is based out of Japan. They are refusing to do business with us. We believe they're participating in an embargo against Israel. So go ahead, shut them down in the U.S. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's amazing to me how much of this crap goes on and like no one even acknowledges it. No one even realizes it. But yes, it's illegal to refuse to do business with an Israeli company. Folks don't realize this. And again, it sucks because they know it. It's kind of like when I do a job assignment in China and the end user starts fucking with me, and I can usually tell if they have connections with like the Beijing government or not. And if they got connections with the Beijing government, I go into a situation where I'm like, I'm just hoping not to lose too much of my shirt kind of thing. And it's frustrating when you run into that. But with Israel, it's like that every single fucking time. Every fucking time. And if I ever share this information with like random people, they'll be like, no, me and my husband, we went there on vacation. It was totally not like that. And these are the same jackasses that go to Dubai And they're like, Dubai is an amazing place. It's a wonderful place. Everyone seems so happy. I'm like, you obviously did not look at the local workers and how they're freaking treated. And you sure as hell didn't try to go to the work camps that if you did, you'd be arrested and flogged. It's the same kind of shit with Israel. That's the hilarious thing to me is I'm watching people on social media. They act like there's a difference between like the Palestinians and the Israelis. It's totally not. Totally not. It's the same bloodthirsty savageness between the two of them. It's absolutely the freaking same. Absolutely the same. And you and I could not tell the difference. We could not tell the difference between a Palestinian and an Israeli, a local. No, we wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to. You would not be able to flip and tell. It's like an Israeli or a Palestinian trying to tell the difference between an American and a French person, like a white French person. You wouldn't be able to tell unless you started talking. And even then, it's iffy because they got to either know English or French. It's the same way with us with Palestinians and Israelis. It's stupid. It's so. I live in Appalachia, which basically represents like a couple of states. Hold on one second. Yeah, like Appalachia is like 13 states, 206 square thousand miles. I could not imagine. I could not imagine if in the Appalachia region we spent $3 billion a year just investing in this corridor. We could turn that into a tech hub. Instead, we're doing 3.5 billion a year, and we're doing a shit ton more that's not officially on the books for a country that at the end of the day doesn't even really like us that much. I'm telling you this right now, Israelis don't like us. If you American Jews out there, you think Israeli Jews, you're the same as equals as to them? No, they view you as tools. You better be on the phone every single day calling your senator demanding more money for Israel, and you better be cutting personal checks to the state of Israel. You got to protect their homeland. $3.5 billion in this region would be vital. Fucking vital. We'll never do it. We'll never fucking do it. Why? Because for some reason, as Americans, we are required to care more about people in the Middle East than people in our homeland. And it's just ludicrous because if the roles were reversed, we would not get a dime out of Israel or Palestine. We fucking wouldn't. We fucking wouldn't. I never ran into any Israelis serving during their invasion of Iraq or Afghanistan. I ran into plenty of Germans and Brits. Never ran into an Israeli. Kind of crazy. And Israel reserves the right to assassinate our own citizens if they want to. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It's why I could never run for political office because I can't seem to understand bullshit and be able to tell people that bullshit ain't bullshit. But what do I know? All right, I think I got enough out of me. I'm going to limp to the gym, run about 5 miles on the treadmill, and then call up my wife and son, see how they're doing. I hope you're doing well. Y'all have a blessed day. Ciao.